Once again, good evening and welcome to Data Security and Privacy. My name is Richard, and I'll be taking you through the course, this particular session. Um, Surprisingly, today most of you were on by 6:05. What's happening? Is there going to be a test? I don't know. The way all of you came very early.
Good evening, Prof.
Beatrice, is there some test that maybe the lecturer is going to take? The students are going to do the lecture test.
No, sir, we are just good students.
Eh, oh,
Yes,
okay.
please.
We are enjoying the lecture.
Oh, okay. Then that's good. That's good. So another time, last week when we met, we talked about data security policies related to Ghana. We talked about the main one, the Data Protection Act. Today, we'll briefly touch on one or two of them for outside Ghana. Then we'll discuss data security strategies. All of these things are introductions. So when you come for the main program, in the second semester, like next year before around May, June, I'll be taking you through data governance and we'll do into detail how the policies are formulated, how to write one, how to implement it, how to measure it in terms of the KPIs that you want you to measure, how to even budget for it. Yeah, but as of this time, we are just introducing you to the topics, the topical issues there, and then maybe next year we'll do we'll chew the bones related to it. Today we are drinking milk. Okay. So some major data protection policies. We can talk about two of them. One is the GDPR, which is for Europe, and the other one is a sector-based data protection policy for a sector-based for the health sector in the US. The US, as I mentioned last week, has a dual approach. They have state-based or statewide data protection policy like the Consumer Privacy Act for California, and then they have federal ones which tend to look at or examine data issues related to sectors. So one of them is HIPAA for the sector. But the deep GDPR is more of a block, a regional block. European Union tend to govern privacy issues and then data sharing, data governance issues related to firms and individuals living in the EU or anything about any EU person within another country. So far the data governs an EU entity, this law or parts of the law could come into effect. So the GDPR focuses protection of personal data of EU citizens, irrespective of wherever the data is taking place, processing is taking place. So if you are a Ghanaian startup and you start maybe a fintech and you offer services that allow people to maybe send money and receive money from Italy, this could actually affect what you're doing, especially your Italian operations. This could actually affect what you do. So it covers all type of personal data, not just health data, because it's not a sector-based, it's more of a comprehensive policy. The key aspects of it is that one of the principles is that the right to be forgotten. The fact that data subjects can ask organizations to erase their personal data, especially after they are finished using it for whatever they collected it for. People could write that I don't want to subscribe to you any more longer. I don't want my information to be with you any longer. So kind of erase it. The only reason why they will not erase it is for legal reasons. In case there's a court injunction on, or they suspect something has to do with maybe something a regulation has been breached and they know there will be some investigation. So somebody's rushing to say that you erase it. It could that may not be adhered to. Then you also realize that they have another principle that has to do with the fact that the person can ask for copies of his personal data. And yesterday, I had a meeting with some doctors, and I was telling them that in Ghana, we have right to have access to our medical data. One doctor said no, another doctor said yes. And the other doctor who said yes and said that it is true. But in principle, it depends on how the institution is wired. Because some institutions they don't even have enough space to keep your folder. So they even give it to you. You don't even request it. They give it to you to take, especially some of the public hospitals. They give it to you to take home. The next time you are coming, you bring it back. So even that one, before you can the law will come into effect, the person has even handed over your data to you. That's why they were explaining to me. But in other places, you may have to write, and the photocopy will be done for you. Okay. Then consent. You need a fair, an affirmative consent, a consent, and a clear one, an assurance from the data subject that you can collect my data and process it and use it for whatever you want to use it for. So that one is also part of what is enshrined in the GDPR. The GDPR also advocates that you should have a data protection officer to oversee the GDPR compliance requirements. So, and whenever anytime there's a breach, I suppose you are going for 72 hours to notify them and other relevant authorities of the known breach. So the GDPR applies to all organizations processing any data of an EU person, or irrespective of where the organization is located. If you're in Ghana and you're processing that of an EU person, you still have to adhere to it. HIPAA, on the other hand, is an American federal policy or regulation that tends to focus on privacy standards to protect patients' medical records and other health information maintained by healthcare providers or their third parties or associates, and then health insurance companies. Good. So the key aspects are protected health information. So it refers to any information that can identify the patient and relates to their health status and care and payment. So they are defining what health information is. I think even in Ghana's own, when we were looking at it last week, we saw that there was health records was also defined. And this one, you are saying anything that can help identify a patient. Patient mean that the person who is receiving healthcare and relates to their health status, care, or payment. So even if the person is making payment for a particular health procedure, it's protected. That information is protected under this particular act. Then it also says that um, there should also be a business associate agreement, meaning that a contract between a HIPAA covered entity and a business associate to ensure that the latter maintains HIPAA compliant practices. So, for example, I know of a Ghanaian firm that's into health insurance, and they were doing something in Angola. But when they went to Angola, nobody was chasing them on any healthcare policy or any data protection policy to adhere to at the time they were there. However, in Ghana, they also work for a US based institution, and the US based institution may had to make sure that they were HIPAA compliant. So they take them through some training and assessment to make sure that their processes are HIPAA compliant. So when they went to Angola and they were not having anything, they use the compliance structure they have learned and procedures they have learned from the US based company and operated in Botswana within those remits. So even if you are not going to bring anything to regulators, we would, because you're an international institution, we are going to adhere to what you have already signed onto the US, so that in case in future there's opportunity for us to do business from a subsidiary in Angola with a foreign entity based in the US, they will realize that we are already HIPAA compliant and it will be easier for us to do business and even get more business. So they took it upon themselves to actually extend the knowledge I've gained to their subsidiary that was supposed to be in Angola. The same is what I'm just trying to say here, that they were working with an US institution. The US institution made that they're sure that they're HIPAA compliant. And then when they're now moving to other African countries, they use that compliance requirements and then structure and all the procedures they have learned to actually to change the way they operate and the way they manage data and handle data and process data in any of the countries that they're going to. Even if the country didn't have explicitly any law to come after them or to hold them responsible or to require them to do certain things. They were already working at a should I a US based standard, which was good enough for them as a firm in terms of enhancing their competitive edge in the marketplace. So sometimes that is what firms may need to do. If you find yourself that in a jurisdiction that they don't have certain types of health sanitary policy to govern data doesn't mean that you should go ahead and mess up with people's data. It also tells you that what you are a data firm, what are you doing in and what are you following in terms of even in Ghana? What are you trying to adhere to? What compliance regime are you adhering to? And if the one you are adhering to that, to what extent can you use the lessons from there to change your process or to streamline your processes in another country? Good. So this is HIPAA. Now, HIPAA also advocates that should in case you are picking any health information from any individual, pick only what is minimum. Don't pick and say that you are picking this and we are picking that for the future to check whether it will happen in the future. No. For that particular health provision or service you are giving to the person, what health information do you need? Just collect based on what you are looking for and then use it to do the processing. Okay. So disclosures and requests from PHI must be limited to the minimum necessary to achieve the purpose. So if you are you are collecting somebody's payment information and you are trying to get to know whether he subscribes to Ghana NHI, it has an NHI registration. That is what you're going to stick to it. You will not end up going to. So why don't you have multi or maybe global health or a mutual health insurance or any other insurance facility that may be in the country. You are found out that the person is using NHIA. Stick to that one and ask your questions for that particular service or transaction. Don't go and ask more than what you're required to. So that's part of what we expect you to do in HIPAA. Then it also goes on to say that even in HIPAA, it applies to all healthcare providers, health insurance, healthcare clearing houses, and business associates in the US. And sometimes business associates who are also working for those on behalf of those in the US in another country, but serving US based citizens in another country. So any form in any way, HIPAA is cut out for health information. GDPR is quite broader. Mm. Now, if you compare the two, the rights of the individuals are some of them are the rights to data portability, the right to access, right to forgotten. HIPAA, on the other hand, gives the patient right to access their medical records and ensure that they are kept confidential. It doesn't have provisions like right to be forgotten, and I'm not surprised. This is healthcare. So any type of information in a person's history may play a key role in the diagnosis. So you won't just go ahead and say that you want right to be forgotten in GDPR. Sorry, in HIPAA. Sorry, in HIPAA. You not ask for that in HIPAA. Penalties. When you are found culpable in GDPR, you can pay up to £20 million, euros, or 4% of your global revenue. That means that if you are really making a big time, and 4% is $21 million, then really your company is rich. 4% of the global revenue and revenue, whichever is higher, that's what we are coming for. Then it means that it can be the punitive measures there are quite high, and you want to be very careful that you adhere to them. Then the one for HIPAA can start from $100 to $50,000 per evaluation, with the maximum being 1.5 million per evaluation category. So in case you violate about 6 categories of their provisions, you can multiply your 6 by 1.5 and then know how much will be the largest that you can pay. But what is interesting here is that they are starting at $100. So in healthcare, there could be a lot of things that may not be intentional. So it's good that they have got some type of restraint in putting out the pricing for healthcare. Maybe some flexibility in doing some routine checks, which may not have to go to a tune of, in case there's a problem, it will not go to a tune of $50,000 or to 1.5 million per category. But otherwise, these are the starting points that you can be able to have an appreciation for. Now, GDPR says that you should report within 72 hours, but it's quite different from HIPAA. HIPAA is saying that we need to measure how many people have been affected. If the outbreak of that particular breach is affecting about 500 or more individuals, then you need to report not later than 60 days from the discovery of the breach. So it means that you have to be watching and monitoring the breach as it's going. If you are getting closer to 500 people being affected by the breach, then you have to do something about it. You have to do something about it. In fact, it will be better for you to have your maybe if there's a country level as a HIPAA is a federal level, so the federal level may have the means of reporting. So you should be conversant with it so that you could actually start initiate the process quite early before the 60 days is up. Mhm. Now, HIPAA does not require patient consent for the use of the personal health information, but the guidelines on consent differ from GDPR's broader and more stringent requirements in terms of opting in and opting out. Okay, HIPAA does not. Healthcare is quite tricky, but they don't require consent for the use of PHI, so they can use to process any type of maybe test to be able to arrive at a conclusion. What is happening? What are you going through? What could be the reason? So in this era that there's teleconsultation, telehealth, it's interesting that such institutions may even go across the country to look for healthcare as professionals who can be able to address an issue that they may be going or that somebody may be experiencing. So we want to be able to get the patient better. Well, how can we do it that way? Sharing of the information may play a key role. There's a story about the fact that one of the key things that helped the eradication of Ebola when it broke out before COVID in across the West African enclave. One of the things that helped the scientists to come up with something to address the issue was the fact that there was open sharing of data across a number of countries. So healthcare professionals in Ghana were working with Nigeria and other countries, and that open exchange of data allowed innovation and thinking out of the box, which made enable some group of scientists to come up with something that could be possibly be a cure. So healthcare sharing plays a very key sharing of information, healthcare information to the most appropriate health professional plays a very key role. The most appropriate health professional plays a very, very key role. Sometimes, even if you have been to hospital, haven't you realize that you'll be talking to a doctor said, this one, I'm not sure, let me call my other colleague. And you may go to another room, go and talk to somebody in gynae and stuff, and come back to you. Now, what is he doing? He's trying to get some kind of understanding so that he can have a holistic perspective of addressing the issue of prescribing drugs. So the person is going to get knowledge from somebody else to come and do. In that case, he's using your document to get information from somebody. So if you are in a critical situation, does he have to come and wake you for you to say that please I allow before you go to the next doctor? No. Healthcare information is quite different. So the person may walk and go and do so. But I believe that I don't have the full policy here, but I believe that there are limits of what you can share and what you cannot share, and the jurisdiction you can take it to. For example, you get up and carry somebody's data to Russia, and say I'm going to look for cure for the person. That one, I think, consent from the family or from the next of kin or the power of attorney will be needed. I believe there are levels of it, but these things play a very key role here. I've seen Angela's hand up. Angela, please just give me a second now. So in summary, both of them prioritize data protection. GDPR is broader, but looks at EU citizens, and then HIPAA zeroes in on healthcare information in the US. Understanding health and related information, understanding both is crucial for organization that handles both types of data. Okay, so Angela Coker. Angela Coker.
Yeah, Doc, good evening.
Angela, is your mom
Please,
a
when
justice?
you were talking,
Is your mom a lawyer or a justice?
no,
Okay, I know about me. It's a lawyer.
no, fee.
Oh, Justice Cooker, something like that. There's a Cooker family I knew about. Anyway, yes, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying that you said that HIPAA does not require patient consent, but the slide says otherwise. So is it a typo or was your slip of
HIPAA
tongue?
does not, sorry, that's require patient consent for the use of PHI. But its guidelines consent differ. That's what, sorry, I beg you, forgive me. I'm trying to say that the guidelines for HIPAA is not differ from GDPR's broader and more stringent requirements. I beg you, I just slip. It's not a typo, it's a slip. I'm trying to say that their guidelines are much more flexible than that of GDPR. GDPR is very, very strict, and they have sued companies like Google and then US based there's one Apple for some of these things for sometimes millions of dollars. If you like Google GDPR breach and you see the number of companies they have been suing. Even some people have argued that it seems EU has been using the GDPR to be raising money because when they give you one suit, 5 billion, 3 million, 7 billion, 8 million. The dollars is plenty. And you see, I don't know whether they are sharing it among the countries. Because if you breach one, you have breached all of them. Yeah. But the other one also require patient consent, but the guidelines are less are not as stringent as the GDPR one. And we will look at those ones when we meet in next year. It's part of what we'll be discussing into detail. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I thought I was that's why I was giving the example of situations in which they may take certain things out. May not everything that they may ask your permission. But let me also point out something. When the person is asking for the use of your PHI, that means that he's going beyond your data to mention your certain specific things about your self. So the data is identifiable. However, the person can use your case, but not necessarily mention your name. I have a like I don't want to watch ER before. I have a 50-year-old woman here suffering from this and stuff. Any of you have watched emergency room related sitcoms? Either ER or Desperate. The other one was forgotten the title. The Central Hospital, whatever it is. Any of the hospitals telenovelas in the US, you will see that the people just try to tell you that we have a 15-year-old coming in suffering from this and this and that. It is when care is being given, they say that, oh, John, how are you? Can I hold your hand? Then they are trying to personalize the information and then talk to the person in a way that can be relatable. But whenever they are calling another hospital, including calling the doctor, so they say Jendo is 2 weeks of medication. Jendo means that it's a common name that you use to identify somebody can identify. So either they don't know your name, they call it Jendu, or sometimes they don't want to mention it, they call it Jendu. So, so that they refer to the person in their conversation. So your data will be used, like things concerning you, to solve the problem. But to identify you, they will try to, as much as possible, unless necessary, for to identify you. Especially if they want to trace whether there is something in the bloodline. Then when they need a name, then they'll say that, okay, do you have the social security? Has it been reported before? That means that you're checking whether across all the states, whether somebody like you or somebody related to you have not reported of this illness elsewhere. They are they are well organized in how they manage the data. So you please, if you take your time, watch it very carefully. They say you are bringing in this and that and that and that. Then most of the time they try to take away the name and focus on the characteristics of the person. Because even tells if you're bringing a 15-year-old who is having a trauma, consent to an 80-year-old who's having a trauma, it's two different things at all. An elderly mid-level, this mid-year, this, and it's not a female, Caucasian, this and that and that. So they are using that information, which part of it, somebody, if there's if the blood group and blood type and the person's school and university is being mentioned, it can easily narrow down to the person who and has to identify the person. But if it's not mentioned, they start at the broader attributes of the person. It's easier for them to share the information, use it to diagnose you. Okay. So, Angela, thank you very much on that issue. Please, any question before we move to the next half? Okay, Angela is okay. But any other person who has a question? Magnus Kakupumi. After this, your picture. It's like you went for some election and came back home.
No problem. I was actually at a naming ceremony.
Okay. Anyway, were you being named? Oh, the time is up. They are supposed to close, and the women have taken the thing to the second level, second gear. Hey, anyway, hmm, eh, interesting. But it's all part of our duties as men to show up. Okay, thank you very much. So, but good evening, sir. Good evening. I wanted to greet you. Hmm, good. Now, so the next thing that we're going to do is to look at how do we address some of the potential breaches that can occur. What can we do on our own? What can we do as a company or head of IT, head of data? What can you do? So that brings us data security strategies. I think in another session we may do web security strategies, but today is data. So the first one that we want to look at is that we mentioned that when you breach confidentiality, integrity, and availability, you have actually breached the security of the data. So when you compromise on any of the CIA principles, the data is in trouble. So when we talk about data security strategies, we are discussing what measures we can put in place to secure our confidentiality of the data, the integrity of the data, and the availability of the data. Okay. So we are going to talk about a number of them and we're using examples to help you understand it. Good. The first one is what we all know, access control. And access control is the most basic and the first line of action. When you're coming to UG, you bought your you paid for um I think you paid your money and they sent you a pin and you registered. To register, I think you have to buy a voucher. Good. Then the voucher will give you to an access page where you have to log on with some details, and then after that you put your application form, and then later you are assigned then you are assigned an index number or a student number. Now, all of these, the next time that you come back to want log on, you use that same student number to check status of your admission and all the other information that may be needed from you. Now, a person who didn't apply will not have a student login details. He may not even know the login page. But the student who has been able to apply and has gained the login details and now has been taken on as an access student may have some access information that allows him to engage on any of these platforms to be able to check the status of his registration, download maybe admission letter, and so forth that's related to student data. So the first one is role-based access. Grant this access based on the roles. You are a student, so you are giving access to your updating your personal records. Good. Now, I'm an administrator. I work for the HOD. I can't have access to your personal records. But somebody who is a coordinator in the department of the program, like Dr. Divina Gozi, he can have access to everybody's data, but not to edit it, but to be able to use it to be able to check whether you have been shortlisted, check whether you have got admission, follow up on payment issues, follow up on your letters, follow up whether your details are appropriate so that you can migrate to Sakai. All these things are based on role-based access control. You, the student, I, the faculty. You, the student, I, the coordinator. Then there's mandatory access control, enforces security clearance levels. Only users with specific clearance can access certain data. So the admission data, there are different version parts of it. The HOD can recommend you for admission, but before it can recommend you, guidance school has to clear you that the details you submitted, all of them are in good standing, and your certificate is the one that's approved by GTech. So some people bring some funny certificates and it's rejected. So it's flagged. So somebody goes through one by one to check all the certifications. If all of them are good, then the person will flag that this person is ready to be considered for admission. So the HOD can go and see your records, all right. And he's interested in you. You have got good results, everything. You are an MD of this. You can come and help the department, do a good program. You can be able to even support us, do a lot of stuff. But you are not being cleared. If you're not cleared, you cannot go on. So that clearance ability is given to the college, the graduate school of graduate studies. They do the clearance, but because the graduate studies cannot recommend for admission, they can just clear. Then the HOD and the coordinator can recommend for admission. Then the letter will be issued by graduate school. So there are different levels. You, the HOD, cannot issue a letter to somebody. You cannot, ideally, you can process it and get it to the person, but you cannot issue a letter to somebody. But all you can do is to recommend. Then the other person who also cleared the person cannot recommend, neither can he grant admission. So when it then goes back, then graduate study school has somebody there who is not the one doing the clearance, but another person at another level who can then offer admission. So these are the different clearance levels that could exist in our simple scenario like this. Then discretionary access. So even though I'm the HOD, it's likely that maybe the vice chancellor has sent me to Mars to join your Mars team to go to Mars. So as I'm in Mars, I don't have access to even though there's internet in Mars. Starlink is in Mars, so maybe I don't have access to my UG platform. So, but whilst I was going, I recommended to the dean of the business school and then to the College of Humanities and to the VC that whilst I'm away, this is Professor Owusu Achampo Owusu is the acting HOD. So if the acting HOD takes his seat with his letter and admissions is still going on, he could be given that particular discretionary access to access specific resources and recommend in collaboration with or in consultation with the coordinator, recommend for admission. So I'm giving the person certain abilities to do certain things on the platform based on my discretion of who should be what my successor whilst I've traveled to a conference in the US. Okay. So there's role-based access, mandatory-based access, and discretionary access control. Role-based access. A banks at a major bank, we once forced an internal fraud. We've once faced an internal fraud where a junior analyst had unauthorized access to financial transactions. You see, unauthorized access. So implementing strict RBAC, that's role-based access control, would have restricted him only to view customer profiles and not make changes. So a person is coming to work for you and do some, maybe update certain new software for you. The person should have only role-based access and means that maybe at the clearance at the minimum level that he needs. He can only maybe pick the person's people's information, use it for whatever he's going to do, or he can do it only and then use it to be able to make the decision on who should be recommended for something that has to be recommended for. He cannot just go ahead and just be saying that admit. So we have role-based access control. They are both mandatory. In a defense contract, only individuals with top clearance would access sensitive documents. However, the project manager with a discretionary privilege mistakenly granted access to a new recruit, leading to a minor breach. So sometimes it could happen that somebody may not with intention give somebody access and then also create a problem for the institution. Sorry, the person may give somebody access, yes, and then we also create a problem for the institution. So what we want to try and make sure is that whenever we are giving access, let it go through the appropriate policies in the organization. Don't say that because this guy is looking nice, I'm giving access. Maybe he's the one who is going to really sell some people's information and hack the system. So please let's be very careful. We may give data to access to people who have got certain clearance levels. Number two, we will also give out of discretion, give temporal access to others to be able to play a key role. But those ones that we are doing, so we have to know that they are worthy of that. And there's record to show why we give it to them. Yes, justice.
Yes, sir.
I saw your hand up, so I thought you wanted to say something. Okay, and you don't want to
Oh,
say. Okay. So
sorry, sir. That was understood.
okay. Types of data security. So the first one is protecting the network. Most of you have seen that we have heard of Norton internet antivirus or Norton internet security, which is one of the defense softwares for our machine. Then Windows Defender, Avast, Avant, McAfee. Most of these ones initially were just antivirus software. So there's a virus on your pen drive, then they'll remove it for you. A virus on the hard disk, they'll remove it for you. Then they started realizing that now there are people attacking the network by sitting on the network and be sending viruses in the network. So we need to protect people on the network. So they started developing network-based security applications. Good. So that will try to put a firewall that those who don't have access are not given access, or that try to even use any form of access-based control, just a basic form of using maybe a name and a password to prevent somebody from entering maybe a complex password. to prevent somebody from getting access to certain data. Good. So after a competitor face a DOS attack, denial of service attack, we send so many requests to one computer and it cannot process all of them. So because of that, it stops processing and then it hangs. Okay. We fortified After we faced such a thing, we fortified our infrastructure with using advanced firewalls. The firewall are supposed to sit on the network so that it prevent or reduce the number of intrusions. Okay. And the intrusion detection system to monitor and mitigate similar threats. So that is for the network security. And sometimes we may have quite a number of the new antiviruses have a network version or have an internet version, that internet security, so that they can be, when they are installed, they can also check the internet traffic and be able to monitor what they need to monitor to prevent catastrophes from occurring or people from breaching into a particular machine or an office. Then you have got multi-factor authentication, which we are all used to. That a person gives you a key, and then the key goes to your text message to your phone. Then you have to input it so that you can be able to proceed. Even after you are putting your password and your username and your password, they still may use a multi-factor authentication. So they are not just, they want to be sure that you are present at the place and it is you. Not that somebody is doing the thing on your behalf. You are present at the place and it is you. Okay. Now this helps to protect the institution that is offering the service. And I'll advise that any of you offering services should come use multi-factor authentication to protect you as a company. The first thing is that you can let people use what they know, including their own password, their PIN numbers. So ask and then their own security question. For example, you ask the person, where were you born? And the person writes, in terms of the platform, he writes maybe Accra, Osu Accra. Good. Now, Accra is different from Osu Accra. There are two different answers. If you're Osu Accra without a comma, is different from Osu comma Accra. So when you are using these things, you have to be very careful, especially with the passwords and then secret questions that they are asking. So something you know, which is coming from your knowledge, that is one of the ways we can authenticate you. Then something that you have in possession. So they may send something to your phone and you have to enter the numbers that came into your phone. Or they may tell you to click on your phone, yes, to approve me to continue. Now, what are they doing? They are trying to make sure that you are there. The person you are giving authorization to has access to that device or whatever service you are introducing to the person. So you have to have access to it. So this encompasses the smart cards, security tokens, smartphone with one-time passcode, something that you possess. The last thing is something that you inherit. Inherits is part of you. So more of like your voice pattern, retina scans, your fingerprints, your facial recognition. So currently, because of the facial recognition on iPhones, any of you using any of the banking applications tend to leverage on that and check not just your text message, but checks on your phone. Okay. So you may realize that sometimes you can also just check and see the progress of maybe interactions with different people on a network. And you see, okay, this guy gave access after this and this guy gave access after this and that. You realize that those who are leveraging the multi-factor to be able to even have access to certain data, and you can then even increase the number of levels. So please, for many type of sensitive data, now multiple factor authentication is playing a very key role, especially with the one that they check on possession. When you send a text to your phone, whether they even initiate a transfer, then you have to return the money. They do so many things nowadays to be able to make sure that they are securing people's information. Okay, so biometric is also part of it. Voice recognition, voice pattern, all of these things play a key role. Okay, so an example, we mentioned some of them. An online banking account, in addition to your password, may ask you to enter your one-time code sent to you via your SMS. So they are asking for something you know and something you have at the same time. Then you have got secure work environments. An employee might swipe a security badge, something that they may use to enter a building, something you know, and then they use your retina scan or your fingerprint to make something that you are inherent with you. Okay, please just give me a second. So they may ask you some for cloud services, they may ask to request your password first, something you know. Then they ask for a verification code that may have come to your email address or come to your phone, something that you may have. Okay, so anything that they will do, they will try to use any of these three. Sometimes others have even have more. They may combine it in all the three in one particular request. Others may also want you to interact with their service. So you may ask you that how many bananas are on this in this picture. No, actually, there's no banana. Oh. And then you have to just choose 0 or something like that. Then you can then go progress. So that's more multi-factor authentication. Now, some smartphones now require you to have a passcode, something you know, and then your facial recognition, something that you are or inherent with you. If you look at it, your iPhones do that. I don't know. Android also does that, if I'm right. Some Androids do that. Is that true? Who is using an Android that requires you to use your facial recognition? Or facial recognition doesn't work in Android. Why are the Android users here?
Prof, it
Everybody is an
does.
iPhone because of the example I give.
Prof, it does.
Hey,
It
Steven,
does.
don't mind them. If Samsung was here, they'll be very, very unhappy.
Oh, sir, I'm a
Oh, they
proud,
are
I'm a proud
surprised.
Android user.
You,
Mine is by choice.
yours is by choice.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, who uses Oppo? Oppo. It's an Android phone. Oppo. Hey, nobody uses Oppo. Who uses
Let's say that
I use Pixel. I use the
who
Google
uses
Pixel.
Techno?
Please, I have Oppo.
Oppo. Okay, that's good. Oppo is a high-end brand.
Yeah, I use it as a yum anyway.
You use it for what?
As a yum phone.
You'll be here. Barbara, you're laughing. What do you use? Barbara, what do you use?
iPhone.
No, I don't believe you. iPhone 3, iPhone 3. I probably use iPhone 3. Eh, anyway, Mr. Mensah, then she Mensah. What do you use? You are laughing, also laughing.
So I use a Samsung Galaxy S21.
So S21. But right now you are 25. You are two behind, though. You are 4 years behind.
Yeah, I cannot keep up. Oh. They do the same thing.
By the time you finish saving for the next one, then now 26 has come. Hey. But at least for Samsung, they keep on changing at different levels, at different costs, at different prices. Anybody uses Xiaomi, Xiaomi, Xiaomi. Anybody uses Xiaomi? Nobody. Maxwell,
Yes, sir.
what do you use?
So I use an iPhone.
It's like I don't really believe you. Who uses MI? There's a phone called MI. Hey, Igbo, you don't know phones crowd. What about Virtue? Half of Virtue is very expensive. Virtue. VERTU. Try and look for it. The girls ask for it for your birthday or Christmas. Now Christmas is coming. Uh, Magnus has won the election, so you can send your bill to him. You buy your Virtue. Okay. Okay. Then Huawei. Hey, Magnus, your hand is up. you, you
Yes,
iPhone
Prof.
or yes?
I actually have a question. I just
Okay,
want clarification on something.
okay.
Okay, so for what we are talking about, I remember some time ago when the Bank of Ghana asked banks to start taking this Ghana card as a means of identification. But then later I saw or I realized that okay, so first when you give them your Ghana card, they would have to do a copy of it and then probably keep a copy every time you visit. Communique that came from the same regulator stating that nobody should give their Ghana card to, the teller or whoever you meet at the bank to do a photocopy. What, Prof, can you help me understand why that was? In the
I
start,
think the
and
Data
why?
Protection Act was against it. And since it's an identifiable, people's identifiable data, they wanted to protect it, that against. And then I think there's also some kind of provisions around the card itself and how it can be used. And it's against the law for you to photocopy that card. That's what they said.
Oh.
In fact, we're also told, and that we should prevent people from doing that. So now most of the banks, there are two ways. They'll tell you the bank needs to just authenticate you. So they will use something you are. Not the card is something you are. So your finger is what you're supposed to use. And then that's your biometrics, something that you are, inherent with you. And then you are supposed to show the card to them that you have the card. But you're not supposed to take the card from you. Some people collect the card because they have to enter the number. Now, that's what they collect the card, they enter the number and they give it back to you. But technically, you should have told to read the number to you. After you read the number, then so they have to see your ID. So the old, you see, they are in between two rules. The old rule was saying that see the ID and then photocopy it. So as soon as the new ID came, they said now use ID. They didn't change the process in the bank. And the bank was still using the old rule that says that, remember they were doing that with our national ID, all our national IDs, they will photocopy, then they will still put the photocopy with the check that came, or whatever you came to do, so they can trace that the person came and this is what it is. But now you have access to the database, which they think the database is foolproof. It has the person's phone number is tied to it. So the phone number and the card are one. Remember that they told you to go and register in the bank too. So the phone number and the card are one. So if you see the person has the card, the only other thing you are supposed to do is to just do the something you are, the last one. And then they will authenticate that one and allow you to have whatever you want to have. So I think that the push is everybody should have a device. But even some of the banks, my standard on campus, there's only one of the devices. So you are with teller A. When the time is, I say go to this teller and go and get verified and come.
Yeah, that's happening.
Yeah, it happens a lot. Yeah, and some of them are using both the fingerprint and then the facial recognition too. So some of them tend to look into the camera, then to do into their software. The internal software will check the facial features and compare it to the one that you use for your Ghana card, and they'll match. So they are sharing. Ghana card is sharing. NHI is sharing their data with them or using that for authentication seamlessly, and that's how it's supposed to work. So if you are climbing a bus in the future, all you would have done is that you swipe your Ghana card. Your Ghana card is linked to your bank. You delete from your the 50 Ghana or the 30 Ghana from your bank account. It will authenticate you that you were the one on the bus. So you swipe and you do your finger, then you are gone. Yeah. But it's just trying to make the things easier. I think a similar thing was with the e-gate too. The e-gate at the airport that they said Ghanaians can use it. Good.
Thank you, Prof.
Okay. But please understand that there's a difference between changing the process and then understanding whether the process works. There are two different things. The process could be improved, but whether the process was working is a different story. For example, a few years ago, a friend of ours came from the US and he wanted to go and clear some goods, and they told that he's supposed to have a TIN number. So by that time, it was time to register general. So you had to go to register general to register. When he registered at the registrar general, he was in a queue to collect the no, he registered and went home. They told him that the things will be ready at a particular date. So on that day, he was received a call, that a text message that his card is ready. His card is ready. He should come for his card, and then the number and then the number or whatever is associated with it. So he showed up there, and when he went there, he joined the queue. After a very long queue, it got to his turn. And he told him that he gave his name and said, why did you come? He said, oh, I received a text message. They told him that, oh, the thing is automated though. After every 7, the thing is supposed to be done within 7 days. So at the last time you came, when the 7 days was up, the computer just sent the text message to you. It didn't check. There was nobody supposed to take that these people's own already. So the guy showed up without knowing, but the computer had sent him text message that he showed up. The process in the computer was just for adhering to what's supposed to adhere. But the human process had not finished the work. Then later on to when he got there and the thing was whatever was supposed to be printed for him, they told him that you can see the number, but we can't print. There's only one printer. Go and join the other queue. I will print at 1 o'clock. Go and join that queue for the printing. So what I'm just trying to point to you that you can have a process that can give out the right information, but doesn't necessarily mean the process is correct. The process is flawless. The text message came perfectly. The information about you was accurately constructed, but the timing was wrong. And in terms of the physical process, the timing was wrong. The document, whatever you was supposed to come for, was not ready, but the computer has sent him a message that it is ready, come for it. Anyway, Maxwell, your hand is still up. James, I trying to say something.
No, Prof.
Okay. So next one in data masking. It involves disguising the original
Prof,
data. Yes.
I wanted to ask a question. So I'm having trouble with the access control.
Yes,
The
ask.
access. Yes. So you spoke about one which is rule based. That I understand. The mandatory, how is it different from the rule based?
Okay. One, most of them are intertwined. That one you are right about that. Number two, when I say person's role, that means that he's actually defined by that level that he should have access to the data. So you are a student. Now, mandatory means that you should have satisfied certain things to have some clearance. So we are all students, but when it gets to examination, only those who are finished paying their school fees are mandated to write the exam. Although we are students. So you have not finished paying your school fees, they will send they can send you out.
Okay.
Good. Then sometimes, like this weekend, something like that happens. Sometimes a lecturer then comes to say that, please, I beg you, the guy can pay. By Monday, you pay. Then they tell the lecturer that if that's the case, then you should send some money to maybe it's left with, let's say, 1,500, has paid 80%, it's left with the 20%. And then the lecturer is supposed to send something to show, a token to show. It's the lecturer says he doesn't have money. Then the lecturer wrote an undertaking for the student that if the student doesn't pay, they should take it away from his salary. I'm not saying that come and tell me to do that, I'll do it.
I'm coming, Prof.
I've just used an example that we witnessed over the weekend. So in one of the departments. So the lecturer wrote and then it was taken. And then the student was allowed to write the exam. Do you understand me?
Yes, please.
Good.
So it
So
means that
that one is the last one. That's the discretionary.
Okay.
But the other one was affecting the guy, the middle one, the mandatory. Pay your school fees because you can write the exams. So you're going
So
to
it means he didn't have the mandate to write the exam.
Yes, he doesn't have the mandate to write it. He has not got the clearance to write exams.
Okay.
So
So it
you're
means
going to
that
find
we
out.
have the role.
Sorry.
Someone who is in a role will have a mandate.
But may not be mandated for certain services or certain actions.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So you can be in the role, but you may not have certain mandates. Especially, can you just imagine that the university says that if all new HODs, all new heads of departments are supposed to go for training, after doing the training, they would take you to some of the university platforms and they'll give you access. So if you didn't go for the training, how will you get your access code? Well, they want to train you with the thing so they know you know what you're supposed to do. But you say, oh, me, I don't go for training. I don't need to go for training. I will know things by myself. Then you sit down, the access code will never come to you.
Okay, understood.
Yeah, so they have tied the access code to your training so that it will clear you. Okay. Graduation is the same thing. When you are going to graduate, they ask you that do you have clearance? And the graduation clearance is very funny. You need clearance from school fees, student accounts. You need clearance from the library. You don't owe any book. You're not taking any book. You have not submitted. So you need those. Then you need clearance from somewhere else. I've forgotten the last one. So this very two play very key role. So a person could have paid all his school fees, but he's owing 2 library books. So he doesn't have clearance in the library, and he can't graduate. Then you also you need clearance in passing all the required courses, and then also not getting a grade point below, I think 2.5 or something like that. Yeah. So there are a lot of things that you should take into consideration. You have role, but you may not have the clearance to have those mandatory access, and then the discretionary access. So in maxing means that we are hiding, we are disguising the original data so that people will not be able to identify it. So that in case people chance upon it in an environment, they will not see what they have. They will not be able to even identify and make use of it. But I, who has the right information that this has been mixed up, can be able to tell that this is relevant information for an activity. Okay. So when developing a new e-commerce feature, our development team needed real-time data, but not real client information. So we use data masking to provide them with structurally similar but non-identifiable data. So you can identify that it's for Richard Boatin, but the data is similar to Richard Boatin's data. But you don't know, there's nothing tied to my name, but so that I can use it to do your whatever simulation that you need to use it for. For example, this one like this. Look at the data here. What can you say about what is happening about the data? I'm not talking about the masking. I'm talking about the data. What insights can you draw from the data? The data set here. Yeah. Who wants to try?
Say, Prof.
Prof, can I try?
Yeah, somebody mentioned. I think Beatrice. Beatrice, go ahead. You may kill first.
Okay, sir. The name of the students are not given, are hidden, and the phone numbers too are not detailed. So you have the information of their gender, age, grade, and where they reside or where they are from. And also from the data, I can tell those who did well, got A and B, are younger, 20, 22, as compared to the students that had C and D. And those who did well too are from North as compared to those from the East. So the data is being protected on their name. Though we have the list, we have the details, we don't know which exact students they are per their name and phone number. Thank you.
Okay, that's good. You have done, you have overanalyzed the thing, but it's true. Good. And we can also see that the females tend to do well in every region than the males. The females in the north did better than the male in the north, and the females in the east did better than the females in the east. Now, I've been able
Yes,
to
sir.
give you this one, but you realize that you can still make use of the data. You just don't need to know who it is about, but you know the attributes that matter. Like I mentioned about the hospital, you have the female, you have gender, age, grade, and region. I can make decision based on it. We should put more money in male schooling, and we should also empower the younger age group people to achieve more. But educational system interventions in the east are needed because they are falling short. They are gradually falling short. Okay, now I can say all these things because the data has been marked in a relevant place. Now, in the first column, we have complete maxing, where you have done everything has been maxed out. Then in the second column, we are selecting maxing. We select certain things and max it. We don't max everything. There's in some, so if you look at it, 024 is shown, 2429 is shown, 55 is shown. So I do selecting masking. in that one. The purpose of masking is to protect the actual data, which we have done that, and but we have maintained the data's authenticity and then usability. Good. The phone number column is where we have done the complete masking was. And then but the name column contains a general character count, but max X. At least you know that all the names have got 7-letter names if you look at it from there. And all the numbers too have got, I think, is it a 10 or 9-digit number? Now, the age, the gender, and grade and region are not matched, suggesting they might be deemed less sensitive or revealing their name or revealing than their names and phone numbers, which can help us identify the people. Okay. So what we have done is that we have done selected some part to mask and some part not to mask. Okay. Now, decision on what to mask is often dependent on the sensitivity of the data. So those first two columns is where the sensitivity of the data is at. So we tended to mask that one first. Then we can also have variable masking, where we look at the new column. The entire name is marked as X. And then for the phone number, we have done a mixture of visible and max numbers. Good. So we have some type of partial masking in some place and some non-partial, some full masking in some other place. So we have got more of a variable masking technique. We are not trying to max everything. We are leaving some insights there for you to have an idea of the number of characters that are there. Okay. Irrespective of all of these things, one of the things that we can see here is that we are protected the direct identifiers like the name and the phone number, and then the indirect identifiers such as combining the age, the gender, and the region and the grade. We have not done full masking in those ones. We have left it open, so visible, so that you can make use of the data. Okay. But somebody also say that be very careful that the gender, age, and grade and region, somebody doesn't add something else that can help us identify the people who we are talking about. For example, if it's all happening in the same school, somebody can just say that add the classes to class A, class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4. By the time you finish adding the classes, people will know who you are talking about. Okay. Good. There's no question there. Now, there are certain times that we also have to think about the fact that when we are doing the masking, our objective is what? Protecting the sensitive information from others using, but still leaving it usable for non-sensitive activities or processing. So we have to understand when to use the masking. If it's even the selective masking will not work and it's even scary or there could be a breach, then it's better that you don't even do any of you don't do any partial variable masking. You have to do full to protect the individuals. Okay. Now the next level of security is what we call encryption, when we kind of envelope the data into something else that is not, it cannot be interpreted or discerned by an everyday user. You need to have a kind of an access code that can help you, or a phrase, a script phrase that can help you make meaning of what I've said. Okay. So that's what we call encryption. It's a process of converting plain text into a format that appears random and unreadable, unless you have a specific decryption key or code to convert back to its original level. Now look at what I've written here. I've done some kind of encryption here. What can you think? See, what words do you see will be my actual sentence? What words do you think will be my actual sentence?
The first word is the server.
The server. Okay, so you say server. Yes, I've written it down. What else do you think will be there?
I've seen old in the second word. That's the only word I've seen over there.
Old or gold? Which is which?
Old.
Oh,
OLD.
okay. Thank you. That's all. Yes, this one, no, the hackers are not here.
Sir, I can see Kumasi for the last word.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll put it down. Last one.
Please, I think the first one is the server.
Okay. A server. Okay. A server. Old in Kumasi. Okay. So you see it. Somebody said, well, there's no S. They usually see the words like that. Encryption means that we can even use three different letters to represent something. Okay. So what happens is that we need to use kind of an encryption key. We call that type of encryption a symmetric encryption, where we have a key to encrypt and a key to decrypt. Now we usually use an encryption standard called the advanced encryption standard, which is commonly used in symmetric encryption methods. So if I use a file, if I encrypt a file using AES key of 12345, I also need a 12345 to decrypt it. Sometimes I can tell the computer to use its own encryption key. And when I come back, I also have to leave it blank, and the computer will use its own description encryption key to unlock it for me. So let's look at this example. Okay, we'll come to the example. Then sometimes we may want to have two separate keys: a public key to encrypt the data and a private key to decrypt it. So reverse Shamir Alderman encryption process says that if someone wants to send you from a confidential message, they can encrypt it using your public key, but only you with your private key can decrypt it. So a key about that associated with you will be known, but that's your public key to do encryption. But if they are then sending you the link, you need a private key to be able to access it. So an example is going to this website, devglan.com, and looking at some of the encryption tools. We are looking at the sentence, Kofi scored 2% on the exams, and see what we're going to get. So let me open mine. Okay, I'm opening my. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so I've shared my screen. I think you will see my screen now. This is the website for the encryption. So I can type my own sentence here. Let's type another sentence, like say, I love data science, says Beatrice. Okay, so if I encrypt without a key, a custom key, my own defined key, and those things, I can get an output. So this is the output I got. So if I send this one to this lady, Beatrice will not understand this. JZKS9OI/TMI69, all those things, you don't understand it. However, if I copy it and I bring it to a description tool, and I say decrypt, allow data science, says Beatrice. Okay. Let me copy the link and put it in the class. I want people to try it and see. Oh, this Google stuff. It's opening an advert. This is probably not correct. Let me see if I can get the class here. So those of you who are by your computer, can you try it and let's see? Okay, somebody has sent a picture. Okay. They're doing it on the phone. Okay, Beatrice. Okay. Hey, I'll show you us what your phone. That you have iPhone. Oh, okay. Okay. Beatrice, this your phone? Is it Aisha's iPhone? Hmm. Anyway, this is
Sir, not iPhone, Oppo.
Oppo. Okay, Oppo. That's nice. Thank you. Oh, cool. I went buy one. When I was in China, the way they pitched it to me, when I came to Ghana, I was looking for it. I was not getting some, but now they have some now in Ghana. They have got a lot. They have got. I hear they have got. Their screen is very good. It will never break. Mhm. So
Their
now,
camera is also good.
okay, then that's good. So most of you are trying it, and British is using as yam. And when the money is just there, money no be problem. You can just use a good phone like this as a yam. You get it. Okay. So let's see. My name is Donald Ekufu. My name is Donald Ekufu. So I will put. I want to use my own. I want to use a secret key. So the secret key that I'll send to you is Lizzie. So I put Lizzie here and encrypt. See what has given me. Now, if I copy this one and I take it to the decryption, I put it inside here. I try to decrypt. It will give me error because I didn't. This one uses a key and I don't have the key. So let's enter the key. Let's put the wrong key. I want to put the wrong key. Secret is the key. It gives me error again. Then I put in lazy, but I won't spell it capital. So I hope it will pick it. Lazy decrypt. It's still giving me error. Now I use lazy as I spelled it, capital LIZZIE and decrypt code. Do wonder. See how complex it is. So if you even the secret key, if you don't use the appropriate format, arrangement, if you have the spelling is even right, and you don't use where the cap key, upper cases, the lower cases, you will still not decrypt it. So I can share a decryption key with Beatrice, and then we can just be sharing this on WhatsApp, chatting like this. So anybody comes to look at why are you chatting in this gibberish with the person? He knows what he's doing. He doesn't want anybody to read. So the person receives it and then you go and decrypt it and understand what we have sent. Okay. So that's how it works. Okay, Ronald, you are showing me something. Let me see. Yes, Angie. Angie, go ahead.
Yeah, Doc. So does that mean that if I should come across any encrypted message and some way, somehow I get the secret key and I come on this link, I can equally decrypt it?
That's a very good question. So if the person is using an AES encryption method, then this will work. There are different encryption engines or methods. So it depends on what you are using and that is powering the tool. If the wrong one is powering what you are using, you are not using that or you cannot decrypt it. The number picks do some randomization to
And
just
then
create what you are seeing there. So you have to be on the appropriate standard. This one is the AES standard. It actually says here on the page that it is for any provides encryption and decryption of any text.
so I'm guessing that if
Okay. Also, you can also practice this AES encryption and decryption method. Okay, so that one. Okay, so this one, oh, sorry, that one was plain encryption. Now this is a AES one. I thought I was saying, okay, good. Now AES is a symmetric. Oh, let me close this one. Ah, you want me to watch the advert first? Oh, Ghana. Okay, you ask your question. Ask your question.
yeah, so I mean it means that to some extent when it comes to encryption, meaning it's not 100% secured.
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
I'm guessing that like hackers and all those who work in that aspect, they have more advanced tools, they have more advanced platforms or whatever. And if they really want to get um an encryption decrypted, I feel like it's possible. I don't even get what I mean.
And I
Like
saw.
it's not entirely safe at the end of the day.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't know why I can't open this. This good. Let's read here. AES, the standard is this thing, you let me read my thing. AES is an industry standard of how of as of now, as it allows 128-bit and 192-bit and 256-bit encryptions. Encryption is rapid as compared to symmetric encryption is rapid as compared to asymmetric encryption, which are used in systems such as database. Following this Following is an online tool to perform AES encryption and decryption of any plain text or password. The tool provides multiple modes of encryption, such as now these are the modes of encryption: ECB, CBC, CTR, and GCM. GCM is considered the most secure than GCB mode and is widely adopted for this performance. Now, if you go and read it, it also tells you the way to do the combination, a counter mode. This is how they create the cryptography so they can be able to hide the number, whatever you have said. Okay. Now let us try this one again. We said we should use what? GCM. So if you may not know a lot of the things that it is using to do the, let me say, okay, enter validation detector. Okay, that's for CBC. Okay, we're not using CBC. Tag length. Okay. So I'm gonna enter a script key. I can put in, I don't want to put in a script key. I say encrypt. Okay. So my key is missing. Let me see. I put the Lizzie there again. The length of the screen should be at least 16 for and 128 key size. Okay. Then let me just write University of Ghana. Okay. Should be 16 now. Now I have 16. So this is what it gives me. Now this is what I'll put here, output. Now if you want to decrypt, do you know the parameters I chose? No. So because you don't know the parameters I chose, and you also know my university, you might not be able to do as much as you think you can do. But they use this one to encrypt information sometimes in certain types of databases and registrations that you have. If I come and say I'm going to decrypt, so I've put it there. I've chosen GCM. I didn't put in the key. It's asking me for my key. Let me just copy this one, put it here. Then I say decrypt. Kofi knows about the school. It comes good. So any secret key value that you enter, we generate or we generate. It's not stored on the side. This tool is provided via secure URL to ensure that the secret keys cannot be stolen. So you are right. Somebody can use this one and then use to send the information to you. All he has to now do is to give you the key, and then you can use the key to be able to come and open it up and understand the information. Because you say that it doesn't, the way they have done their system, the key cannot be stolen. So a person will not know what the key is. Angie.
Yes, Doc.
Okay. No, I think you asked a question. I'm just going to, or it was Beatrice.
No, it's me.
Okay. So now, as you said, you can use this one, but doesn't necessarily mean that if you don't have the key, you cannot be able to hack and get to Mayo Miduku.
Prof, please, I have a question. I don't know if it fits in this particular portion of the lecture, but talking about encryption, I've been wondering about this WhatsApp end-to-end encryption that has been stated as a new security feature. Does it mean they are doing this to our conversations?
Yes, so that if anybody interferes it in the network will not see your content. You see gibberish like this. You see it like this, and it doesn't mean anything to the person.
So what does end mean, please?
So it is tied to the two of you.
Oh, okay, myself and the person I'm chatting with.
Yes.
And then in a group chat, all of us.
Okay, I don't know much about the group chat. Let's check. Hold on. Where we are all here. So you can either go to Gemini or you can go to chat.
So with this end-to-end, is it true that even WhatsApp don't see what you are typing?
Yes, most of them, I don't know about WhatsApp, but most of them they can't see because it's encrypted. Even nowadays, if they use on a database, the person cannot tell the password. That's what Apple has been saying, that the passwords you put on their own, they cannot be able to tell. They themselves, they don't know it because of the encryption that is put there, unless the person tells you himself. And when the US government was asking, yeah. Okay, so let's ask it. Explain end-to-end encryption as used in WhatsApp. Okay. I should have asked ChatGPT. Yes, okay, good. So end-to-end encryption is a fundamental privacy feature of WhatsApp, ensuring that only you. This is how it works. At the heart of your end-to-end encryption lies the concept of cryptographic key pairs. When you install WhatsApp on your device, it generates a unique pair of keys. I never knew a public key and a private key. The public key is likely publicly listed, like your post number. It's stored in WhatsApp servers and is shared with anyone who wants to send you a message. This key can only be used to encrypt messages, not to decrypt them. So they are using the asymmetric one. The lady you asked the question is a very good question you asked. I never knew much about this on the WhatsApp. Please, those of you, can you see, please? I'm reading, but can you see it? I don't know whether I'm sharing the right screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's continue. The private key is akin to your actual key, to your box, your PO box. It is stored exclusively on your device and it's not shared, never shared with anyone. That's why it's end-to-end encryption. This key is the only one that can decrypt a message that I encrypted with your public key. Please, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, good. So sending a message, the encryption process. When you send a message to your contact, a seamless automatic encryption takes place. Key exchange. Your WhatsApp client requests the public key of the recipient from the WhatsApp service. Encryption and device. Before the message leaves your phone, it's scrambled into unreadable format. So now you can understand. Such as the site, which is called the ciphertext, using the person's public key, not a random one. The person's public key. Transmission. This encrypted message is sent via WhatsApp service. It is crucial to understand at this stage the message is just a jumble of characters, like you saw what I did to the server. WhatsApp only acts as a conduit to deliver the message, not has no ability to read the content. The decryption on the recipient device, once the message reaches the recipient device, the private key is used, or the recipient is used to unlock and decrypt the message back to the original readable format. The entire process is a blink of an eye, happens a blink of an eye, ensuring that your communication remains secure from end to sender to receiver. Now the group one, the lady who asked for the group one. Group chat. In a group chat, each member has her own unique pair. When a message is sent to the group, it's individually encrypted for every member of the group using their respective public keys. And then so WhatsApp is very fast too. This ensures that only the intended recipients within the group can read, decrypt, and then receive and read the message. So the person who was talking about the group one, this is what's happening with it. Voice and video call, just like simple messages, text message, just like text message, your voice and video calls are also end-to-end encrypted. This prevents anyone from listening into your conversation. Mayomi, thank you very much for asking this question. Just
So
let.
thank you for explaining.
Oh, but right now there it's Gemini that is explaining, you know me. But but at least the basis we talked about is what it's using to explain. So we are not too far. Okay.
Yes.
While your messages are encrypted in transit, the backup of your chat history to your cloud services are not encrypted by default. Hey, that's serious. This is serious. So if somebody has, you know that when you connect your phone to another WhatsApp and you want to download your content, it also brings all your messages back to your phone. You remember? Your new phone.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
That
sir.
information is being pulled from your cloud. That means that in the cloud, the thing was not in secret. So in case a person gets your phone number and is able to authenticate this as you, he can pull your data from the cloud onto his machine and he has everything about you. Wow.
Yeah.
That means that WhatsApp is not safe. It's only safe as much as your phone is safe. This is serious. So people have got their personal pictures and all kinds of things in WhatsApp between parents, between their personal relationships and all kinds of stuff. Yes. Class, just be careful. To address this, WhatsApp offers an optional feature to enable end-to-end encryption backups. When you turn this on, your backup is encrypted with a unique password or 64-digit encryption key before it's uploaded. Okay, I think this one, everybody should go and turn it on. Okay, so let's hold on here. I think we can go. For another layer of assurance, you and your contact can verify that the communications are end-to-end encryption by checking a security code. This code is available in your contact info screen, both as QR code and a 60-digit number. You can compare this code with your contact in person by sharing the 60-digit number. If the code matches, it provides cryptographic proof that no third party is intercepting your message and calls. Those of you who are married, better do this and check you and your husband's conversation. And those of you who are betrothed too. Yeah, Judison, what are you asking?
Okay, sir. So I just want to find out how long does it take for an encryption to expire?
I don't think it has passed. So
And that's the problem, sir.
it's
Pardon?
expired. It takes a
Yeah.
longer time. I experienced it with one of our branch, and then I
Now we'll
raised
be
this
right.
IT as to why the encryption is still active.
You are me my dressing
The
in
direct
the
answer is no. Encryption on the message itself does not expire. Once a message is encrypted, it remains scrambled, unreadable. So it's just a jump. Beverly, you are disturbing us. Good. So it remains erase a jumble of letters together, so it doesn't expire. That jumble of letters does not mean anything to anybody unless you know that it's a message. Permanent encryption, temporary keys. Think of it like this. Okay, so a more detailed answer reveals a dynamic process to which the key. We are now coming to WhatsApp. I'm just coming to WhatsApp, but the other one could be okay. While encryption is permanent, the keys to decrypt your message are constantly changing. Oh, so if I start a new conversation with you, it will be different. That's what's happening. Think of it like this: the lock on the sent message is permanent, but for every new message or conversation in a session, use a brand new unique key. Your WhatsApp, using a robust signal protocol, employs a system of temporary session keys. These keys are inferior, meaning that they are short-lived and are only valid for a specific conversation session. So, you listen, I think this is where your issue comes in. You are right in this part. The racketing method. The real magic behind this concept of racketing is ratcheting. Okay, this, which is a core feature of the signal protocol. Here is how it works. The keys constantly change with every single message you send or receive. The encryption key changes. A new key is derived from the previous one in a one-way process.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the forward secrecy. This is a constant rotation of keys, provides a crucial feature called forward secrecy. It means that if an attacker were somehow able to steal the key for your current message, they won't be able to go back and decrypt any of your past messages. This is good. Because those other ones had their own keys. Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Then there is future secrecy. Similarly, a compromised key cannot be used to decrypt any of your future. It can only decrypt only that session, that conversation I had with you, that session. Apart from that, no, it can't do. Why your security code sometimes changes. You may have seen the notification a charger says that your security code with contact name, this has changed. This is directly related to your key system. This happens when the long-term identity of keys of either of you or contact has been renewed. Okay. Now, this is related to okay. This happens when a long-term identity of keys of either you or the contact has been renewed. Typically, if somebody reinstalls changes their phone or adds or removes a paired device like WhatsApp web. Okay. Thank you very much. This is interesting. Angela. Yeah. Angela, go ahead. We are moving on to the next one, but we'll go ahead. Angela, go ahead. Your hand is up.
Yeah. I was gonna say, does that mean that if you, for instance, delete, let's say you mistakenly sent a message and you delete it for everyone, does that mean that the encrypt also disappear? Like, does it also automatically delete?
No. Let me get that unless you use the disappearing messages.
No, like I mean for everyone. For instance, I mistakenly actually sent the message and it was a mistake. And I delete for everyone.
Yeah, it will not automatically unless you delete it yourself. Delete from everyone.
Yes, but I'm saying because there's this thing called GB WhatsApp where even if you delete for everyone, they still can't see it. And even if you see it,
they still can see it or can't see it.
They can't see it.
Okay,
Even
so
though
so there are two levels of things that are happening here. One, the time in which you send, if the person's machine was able to download it onto his computer, if it's a picture, the thing has now gone onto his computer. There's some people have done their phones in such a way that as soon as the picture comes, it downloads automatically. Now, when you delete, you have deleted from the WhatsApp. The WhatsApp conversation.
No, but there is this thing. I don't know if you've heard of GB WhatsApp.
No.
If even if it's a whole day, they can still have access to it. Like even if you deleted it in the morning and they get like they take their phones in the evening, they can still have access to it because you deleted it for
but
everyone in the morning.
Yesterday I was telling the students on Monday that when you delete on your phone, you're not actually deleted from anywhere.
And start here. Movie steering on that chim. Why?
Okay, now I've removed her totally from the class.
That's fine.
I put her, please, I'm sorry. I put her in the room, then she'll come back again. I put her in the room, then she'll come back. And whenever she's come back, she was also talking. I should move the steering and then function gear. The lady is not a Formula One
mechanic.
Formula One.
Those of you are afraid.
Maybe it's an encrypted message.
Okay,
maybe it's an encrypted
we all
message.
didn't hear. We delete it. We all didn't hear it. Okay. So what
as simple as that.
I don't know whether you have tried it. If you do it, the thing is in the cloud also. It has backup in the cloud. So as soon as you put your phone on, for example, this morning like this, I deleted something, a message I was chatting with somebody on, and even a picture. But as soon as I connected my WhatsApp web, it put the same thing from the cloud onto the computer. But I deleted it in the morning. It was deleted on the phone, but not from the web. Or from the cloud. So the WhatsApp cloud still has the information. Angela, I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. It still has your information.
Yeah, I get it.
You pull it back. So if somebody has access to your this, you can pull from the cloud.
Wow.
Rhoda, come and help us. Maybe you work for WhatsApp. Rhoda,
please, I had a question, that's why.
Okay. Oh, you are coming to ask a question. We are struggling.
Yes, sir. But I need to clear more doubts. Yes, so please, with regards to the encryption, if conversations are encrypted on WhatsApp, how is the military and these high-profile people able to track people's conversations?
Please, your question again. Class, right now, I'm not the only teacher. We are all learning, so please, she's asking a question to all of us. Yes, Rhoda, go ahead.
Yes, sir. And please, I was saying that if our conversations are encrypted on WhatsApp, as we've discussed now, how is the military?
He said that the conversations are encrypted between you and the person. But if you have got that the thing should back up into your cloud, everything goes into the cloud. And the cloud doesn't have encryption. So what the thing told us is that you have to actually enable that your backup should also be encrypted. That's why they only encrypt it. It's a feature. It's actually told us that your things in the cloud are not done. I don't know whether, let me read it to you again. Oh, I closed it. Sorry. Oh, I closed it. But
okay, so it means every access.
Let me read. I've seen it again. I'll open it again. Let me read that part. Good. Okay. Securing backups. Okay, while your messages are encrypted in transit, the backup of your chat history to the cloud services like Google Drive, iCloud are not encrypted by default. This means that if someone were to gain access to your cloud storage, they could potentially access your whole chat history, including your pictures and videos.
Okay.
To address this, WhatsApp offers an optional feature to enable end-to-end encryption of the backup also. When you turn this on, your backup is encrypted with a unique password or 64-digit encryption key before it is uploaded to the cloud. This ensures that even if your cloud account is compromised, your chat and backup remains unreadable when the person enters the iCloud. You will not understand the WhatsApp folder. But currently, those of you have not realized it. When you even go to your own WhatsApp folder on your machine, you open it, even on your own phone, the WhatsApp folder you have there, you see that all the pictures you have been getting WhatsApp is there. And it's just Gani, everything as it is. What you see is what you get. But you say that backup of it, if you put the encryption on, when you open that folders, it may not be, and it will look gibberish to the person.
Okay.
Please, people, the way the OK has come down means that people are concerned. But brothers and sisters, fellow Ghanaians, tonight as you go home, please check your phone, and fellow Ghanaian, do the needful. Angela, you're laughing, but you come and check your. Anyway. Hey, you know that Angela's name for Folake is Yoruba, and it means that pampered with riches. No wonder she's laughing all the way. Pampered with riches.
Doug, you're right.
You are here. I have a song called Folashade. So if you are listening to it, then you are Folake. So Folashade is different. Okay, so this is interesting. Pampered. So no wonder you're laughing at us. Anyway, so please, online transactions, we would like to encrypt them. We have learned that when we encrypt our WhatsApp, it's not totally encrypted. But we use another protocol called the TLS protocol to ensure that some of our financial data is not shared with others. And so most of you, please, if you go to your financial data houses like what's EcoBank and Co. Anything you are doing a financial transaction, do you realize that you see the padlock key on the browser near the browser address to show that this is a secured second layer? That means that the SSL is working. I mean, it's a form of security that some companies sell to other companies who are operating such to show that there's a security standard working on the website. Now, if SSL certificate is in present, it will tell you that the padlock will be ready and so that site is secure, so that your transactions are encrypted. If you don't see that one, you are sharing password, username and password, all those data is vulnerable to anybody to hack. Then password storage. Please use stronger passwords. Messaging apps like Signal and WhatsApp use encrypt messages for end-to-end. So the company cannot even read it. But we have learned that the backup is not encrypted, so we have to encrypt that ourselves. Then sometimes you can also use certain software to encrypt things on your hard disks, so people cannot read it. If you don't trust your better half or people in your house, and the information on your hard disk you want to encrypt it, you can use BitLocker for encrypting it in Windows and the File Vault for encrypting it in Mac. And some of them can work on the phone too, so you can encrypt certain folders on your phone. Sometimes you can also lock certain apps on your phone, so only you can use that app. Without the password, people will try to lock it. In fact, there's even another one that can lock and hide. It will lock it and to also hide it, so you don't even know that it has been installed. So in your view, that app is not installed on a person's phone.
Prof, please teach us.
Oh, if you go into the only way I can't teach you on. I don't have I can only open the App Store for you to look at it, and I'm using a Mac. So let's see. For the phone one, where's my App Store? Okay. So the first thing is that you learn how to create passwords that are complex, like the one I'm showing you here. There's a strong password generator, and then Google also offers a service. When you're trying to create a password, it can automatically, do you want me to create one for you to make it more difficult? But please, there are many different ways of creating a password. Sometimes I'll teach students this one, how to create use 12 characters or more. 14 or better is more. Somebody told us yesterday that his office, they use 16 digits. So that makes it more complex. Sometimes to use a phrase. So for example, I taught my people that you can use maybe a biblical verse, or word. For a biblical verse like John 3:16. But then you enter things in John 3:16. So after the John, you can put John dollar 3:16, and the three you can write THRE instead of the 3:16. Then you 16 write it in numbers. So you can mix a number of them and make it a little bit complex. So what you want to make sure is that you have an uppercase or number word in it. You have a lowercase now word in it. You have a number and you have a character, which can be a symbol, either equals to sign, dollar sign. Most of you like dollar sign, but there's also pound sign. I don't know why Ghanaians don't like use the pound and euro sign, but there are also other signs you can use for password. But dollar sign, dollar is very popular because many of the keyboards, the dollar is on it. But sometimes the pound and the other currencies, they are not on the keyboards unless you are using a UK keyboard. So that's one of the reasons why people stay away from those ones. But the dollar is almost on every keyboard. Okay. So a combination of uppercase and lowercase, you can use those ones then to help you create a longer. And sometimes too, people use a word that they are familiar with. So let's say somebody will take a word like Wagadugu, then add some things to it and to become his password. Somebody can take something like Bekwai. You see, but instead of writing Bekwai Bekwai, you do Beqwai. Then you put a dollar by the Q. So it's Bekwai, but there's a dollar by the Q, and then you make the Q uppercase. Then um the ending of the Bekwai, you can add Y to it too, so it becomes Bekwai, but the spelling is a little bit different. So people use things to connote or to explain other things. So, something they are familiar, like you said, something they are familiar, they know, something that they have, and something that they possess. A word that cannot be found in the dictionary, one, or the name of a person. Oh, sorry, a word that can be found in this. So you don't use words that can be found in the dictionary. But if I'll use a word that can be found in the dictionary, I'll use a long word and I'll mix it with other things. Okay. Now, you can also use something that you can easily remember. Otherwise, you will be forced to write it down. For example, somebody wants to write 6 monkeys are looking at me. So you can then write like 6 monkeys are looking. Then the @ sign can come or use another sign. So you see, I've written 6 monkeys. The I using are looking.
So you can even use 3 for the E.
You can also easily use
3 for the E.
yeah.
To
You can use
replace the
yes, please. Yes, please. So it's up to you. I left it there because I know people are copying. But sometimes what gives away people, especially the ladies, is that you use things on your decks. You are using a password, you are using your son's name and then your son's picture is on the deck. So somebody can actually get to know what is dear to you and use it to hack. And some of you to write it and put it and stick it on a paper under your table. So sometimes hackers come, they check under your table first. We use behavioral patterns to also understand people. So you see his mark, we open his drawer, look at the side of the drawer, we look at the diary. All of this can help us be able to tell the password. Okay. Now let me come to the app and then come back to endpoint security. So this is the app, my app process. So sometimes I can see file, can see hide files. So to bring some of the privacy that so F-Vault will hide secret files, but this one is for the desktop, but there will be other versions in the room for the mobile phone, either the iPhone or the Android phone. So look at this one like that, showing a picture here. He searches for the picture, then drops it into a particular folder, and it prevents people from seeing it. Okay. So this one is an app. You drag the files into the app and then to lock it for you. File save, hide private files and videos. And then strong box, hide private files. Quite a number of them. I don't know which of them is the best. The one which has received more likes is F Vault. Okay. But sometimes when you are downloading, when you are installing, please check the problems people have had before. So 5 years ago, okay, now 2 years ago, and then 6 years ago. So initially it looks like it was very bad, but now it's better. The one who said 2 years ago said the app is where they keep. Please note, if you purchase a lifetime serial number, keep in mind that the official website app and the Apple Store doesn't intertwine. When restoring purchases upon re-downloading the app, okay, then the developer was nice and quickly assisted me on my lifetime issue. Okay, that's different. Okay, so in here you drop in the file and then it also stores it for you. It's got about 4 years old. Number 112 in the photo and video stuff. Okay, so there are quite a number of them, different ones. Folder tidy. This is for organizing the folder. Secret folder. Okay, is there. Hidden me. Okay, so please, these are some of the apps that can do the work for you. Just wanted to tell you. And there are more of them, but just type hide file, hide photos. And then it can in your Android or any of them, it can also help you download. And look at the rating of the ranking of it before you download it. Sometimes you can even go online and read about the app before you use it. Okay, so let's continue. Then the endpoint security protects your data by securing user devices and computers, mobiles, and the border endpoint environment, like an antivirus software. The machine that you're actually using at home is your endpoint. So it's trying to protect that machine for you. So the antivirus is good. And then sometimes others also use what we call, instead of joining the public Wi-Fi, they join a virtual private network. And a virtual private network lets your computer join, instead of going straight for the internet, to join a global network and appear that you are in another country based on the country you select, so that when you access a website, the website thinks you are coming from UK, and it will change the content of the website to suit somebody was in the UK browser. People use this ones to watch movies and stuff in different countries. Like if a show is banned in Ghana, but you can then use the VPN. You can actually trick the website for you to think that you are in the US. It's like those who subscribe to like Disney, Hulu, and so many, even Netflix. If you are using a VPN, it will start thinking you are from Germany or the country you have selected. Then it will recommend titles that are more like that one for you to use or to watch movies from there. If I use the VPN right now, it may disconnect our our network. So I don't want to. And right now, I'm on Starlink. So already I'm in the I'm a little bit global. I don't know whether it works very well with that. Okay, but if I was using MTN, I can easily choose. So let me just show you something. Let me show you how a VPN is. I'll not switch my own one, but I'll show you how the VPN is. Okay, so I'm using what we call Express VPN. So my ExpressVPN, it has a website, it has an app. You can install on the phone, you can install on your computer. This is my ExpressVPN device on my computer. So I can choose the country that I want to appear as, either the US or in the US, I can choose the location, whether New York. So these are the countries that are recommended to me by virtue of where my internet is from, the ones which are closer to me. So I can appear as Ghana, United States, Algeria, United Kingdom, South Africa, Morocco. I can also choose all and to give me more countries. In Europe, which places can I appear as? I can appear as Belarus, or I can appear as in France, I can appear as somebody living in Marseille. And then I can appear as somebody living in Brazil. So if I was in the UK, I could actually see this, and then I'll choose Germany. If I choose Germany, I choose Frankfurt. I double click it. I don't know whether it will work. Okay, it not actually Frankfurt. So what will happen is that if I click on this one, it will connect to Frankfurt. So attempt to connect to Frankfurt through this one. But okay, it didn't connect. Okay, I don't know why it didn't connect. It could be because I'm using a Starlink. But if I was on the MTN, maybe to connect. Okay, let's see. I couldn't go. I'll try another one and see. I'm not trying. Please, can you hear me? If I were still trying to connect, it may take a minute. It may not work because Starlink is not like the other ones. This one is that one is satellite based. I don't think it will connect. Mm. Let me stop before Starlink sees that I'm trying to do something. Hey, it's going on. Okay, might not connect. Oh, it's connected. So now let me open my browser. Please, can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Oh, it's gone.
Okay.
I connected to the VPN and then it disconnected um the the Zoom.
We
That's what
thought as much.
that's what, so it's actually my phone, my laptop, and my browser said that I'm now connected to Germany, but the time I did it, it's messed up. I think if I was using maybe MTN, it would have been easier. I'm not using MTN now, so if I switch on to MTN, I think to work. Hold on, just give me a second. Let me switch to MTN. Good. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So now I'm on MTN.
Yes, sir.
I'm on MTN. So let me try and use MTN and see. Just give me a second. So I'm on MTN. Let me share I put on my VPN. Let me put on my VPN. With the MTN, it works very easy. And for Starlink, it's a satellite. It's not like they are using a landline, a fiber
Hey,
net.
Nana, I was so light.
Hey.
Or you better check me say because they are here.
To copy your tone, press any two key. Your girl is back.
It's not.
Is Pepper's 30 days.
It's not.
This lady were trying to the lady tormenting you.
I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I'm really, really, really
Oh, sorry,
sorry.
this one is not Beverly. No.
He's another person. After the man, you don't worry me too much. After the man. Okay, so we are back here. So let's try to connect to Frankfurt and see. Please, if it goes off, just hold on, it will come back. Okay, so I'm connected to Frankfurt. Am I still on? Can you hear me on WhatsApp? Can you hear me on WhatsApp? Can you hear me on Zoom? Can you hear me on Zoom?
Yes, bro.
Yes, bro.
Okay, so
We
now
can hear you.
now we have to test it. The browser has said that I'm now connected to. I think my browser has said it's modifying my system now to make me appear that I'm now in Germany. So let me quickly open my browser and then give me a second. Open my Netflix account. Okay, I can hear that. This is working. Good. Good. So when I type Netflix, it took me straight to D. Let me just show you something. Let me share just to show that the thing is working. I'm leaving my VPN. I'm going to Netflix. Now, do you see? Those of you can see. Can you see that my Netflix is saying DE hyphen EN? That is Deutsch. I'm in Germany, and that's DE. The address is showing DE. I typed Netflix.com, or then it's slash to DE. I didn't tell it to go to DE. It went DE itself. Now it's telling me the movies that are trending now in Germany. Wednesday, My Life in Boys, K-pop Hunters, Squid Game, and then Call for Me. These are all things that are trending in Germany now. That's what it's doing now for me. So if I should log in, sometimes it may not allow you to log in because you don't have a German account. But sometimes it allows you. I don't know. Let me see. I'm hoping it will allow. Okay, so I'm good. And then I have my okay 1905. Okay, so good. So Wednesday is showing here. Now if you go down, it should be able to tell you number one in Germany today. Do you see? Look at it. Top TV shows in Germany today. It shows my VPN is working. Guys, can you see it? Top
Yes,
show,
we can.
yes, in Germany today. So what the VPN is that is that it has made me my system, my computer is sitting here, look like I'm in a different country. That's what it's doing. That's what, and that is what it does. So if I should switch to another country right now, it will also change the country again. But if I keep on doing that with Netflix, they'll see I'm trying to do something to the system, they may ban me. So let me know where I tried that. Yeah, I've done it before, but I'm just saying now they are more strict. So they don't like people sharing. Mhm. So that's how the VPN works. People use it quite a lot for different reasons, and I'm going to explain it as we go on. Well, I just almost finished. This is my last set of slides. Sorry. Okay, good. So the virtual private network creates a secure and encrypted connection over a less secure network such as the internet. The VPN is used to protect the private web traffic from snooping, interference, and censorship. So if you don't know what I'm doing, the VPN, you can actually come in. And the VPN is a subscription I'm subscribing to. There are also open ones. You can actually install it in your browser. Mine is installed on my computer. And then my family members also have it on their tablets. So if they want to watch a show in the US, they just have to switch to it. So while somebody has switched to the US on his app, I can switch to Zimbabwe. Even though I don't know which is Zimbabwe, I switch to maybe Germany and then use it to watch the German shows. Now, we all have access to Netflix, but depending on the country we choose, we can have more in the bouquet. The same thing with Prime, Amazon Prime, and other platforms. And then Google and the other one. And sometimes the show is just for the US. So you have to switch to the US one. Now it protects everybody, my information, so that I can bypass geo restrictions. So that websites that are maybe blocked or restricted to a certain country, I can appear as a person from the country and then have access to it. Now it also keep my IP address. So my actual address on I'm using currently switch from the what's the name, from the Starlink to the MTN. My MTN is connected, all right, but the IP address of my MTN is protected from the website I said. So the guy who is thinking I'm in Germany, it will appear as a computer with a German kind of IP address. That's a unique address given to the computer. So it will appear as a person in Germany. And the computer in Germany, the service in Germany for Netflix will think that it's a machine domiciled presently in Germany. So you can't trace the original one that I'm coming from. That's why sometimes hackers also hide behind VPNs to hack into your website. So if you are tracking, it will keep on bouncing you. You think the person from Morocco, then you think the person from China, then you see the person from there, then you can't actually tell where the person is actually sitting at. Now, if I should go into a public place and there's internet, I can join the internet. But if I join the internet, because it's public and it's safe, like especially at the cafes, everybody, oh, Charlie, whilst you eat wait for your burger at Burger King, this is our place where you can browse internet free. That internet is an unsecure, it's a public one. Everybody connects to it. Now, as soon as you are connected and connect to it, I can, if I have the right protocols, I can hack into your machine. Very easy because you're on the same network. There's no hidden, because they may just give you a password to log in. I mean, we're all using even the same password to join the internet. I can hack into your machine because there's no security layer which is sophisticated. So to prevent this from happening, when you connect, then you switch your VPN on. Then it puts a layer of security. So your websites and everything, your banking information are now going to the VPN, which the person can see. So the person tries to enter your machine, you think your machine is in, he won't get the protocols you see to not work for him. But if you connect to the typical Burger King internet access, everybody's access, if you go do bank transactions there, you actually say that this is my bank, enter into my account. That's what people don't realize. There's nothing like free internet and free risk. Any free internet comes with high risk because you don't know who is on that free platform with you. It can be somebody very, very ambitious to look for somebody to hack into somebody's machine, or he has put and installed something on the network to be listening to people's conversations and picking the information and sending to them. So you need an encryption over all the content traffic that is coming from your computer whilst on that network, and the VPN can solve that problem. Bypass censorship. So in some countries, they can even censor not just they say that you cannot browse certain websites, not just videos, but like they say that you cannot, maybe you are in Uganda, and they said like what happened in Twitter, that Twitter cannot be used in Nigeria during the elections. So then what do? You have to use a VPN to appear as coming from Ghana, and then you can then use Twitter to be able to post whatever you want to post. But sometimes the country can be very smart. They can block it from the internet access point. So every time you are on that country, you open this particular page, it's not open. China has something like that. So to open Google services on China, sometimes it's very, very difficult. You open the page, sometimes the page you open halfway. Sometimes to open, but within 5 minutes, the thing will go off. I remember I was there checking my internet. I was trying to check my email accounts. I struggled a lot because there is also, I think there's also a verified asset. You go to the government one, and then they give you some enough time to use those websites like your Gmail and stuff. But if you go to the government one, people are afraid that government will be reading their emails. So they don't want to join the government protocols to access. Businesses use VPN to provide remote employees secure access to their company server. Okay, so maybe you have got employees across the world and you all have to log in. So they use the VPN to have a secured access to it. Okay. So let me take Angela's or before we can back up in security. Back up. Angela, your hand is up. Oh, I think I've stopped recording. Oh, it's recording now. Okay. Angela, your hand is up.
Yes, Doc, please, I'm coming. Sorry.
Hey, Angie, are you pounding fufu?
Doc, please, no, I'm coming. You can't, Doc, please go ahead. I've forgotten the question.
Oh, today the woman. Man, please save me. You. Hey, pampered lady, pampered with riches for lucky. Okay. So another thing that we need to be able to secure at the endpoint is the machine itself. Can we back up the system and make it the backup secure so nobody can come into it? Can we also put in certain antivirus internet firewall defense system, so nothing has a nothing internet security? You install it and to sit on the network and protect your machine. So those ones are part of it. And then have we updated our system frequently? So that especially with those on the Windows. As for Mac, we don't update it as much as Windows. Windows almost every day or every 2 days you have to be updating something, or if you're not updating the Microsoft Word itself and the Office suite, you have to update the Windows itself. Okay. Now, to prevent us from losing everything, we need to do backups and also practice recovery. So where do we back up? We can back up by using a software to back up, or we can back up by you also backing up online. Some of the backup platforms have also got recovery. Recovery means that they will take an image of your hard disk and create it and store it in the cloud. So when you want to restore it, to restore back to the last time you created the image. Microsoft even has recovery images, so you can also create an image. But image, if you are storing locally, that means that you have to have more space on your machine. If you are storing store it on an external hard drive, that means that go to external hard drive or the cloud. The whole idea is that we'll take a snapshot of your computer, all the applications installed, and how they were working healthily this morning. And then we'll take an image of it and then store it. Now, usually, the Windows one keeps it for about 30 days. But then it may ask you to do another one if you have activated it. Or sometimes when you install Windows Fresh, it will do it one for you. In case, but you see, after you have installed it, most of you, after 3 or 4 days, have done a lot of installations, now added this, all permissions and stuff. So if you don't do another image to keep it, to get the more functional state of your machine, in case your machine is compromised and you want to revert back to the day it was just freshly installed. So the image is very important that you create a recovery image so that you can always use it to restore your machine. And it works in both Apple and Apple has its own version, and then the Windows family has their own version. Then sometimes we have to erase our external hard disk or our pen drive, our main machines, and we use a data eraser. And that one too, sometimes we have to also recover. So we want to recover from that, the data that we are lost. We want to recover from that hard disk. Maybe part of it's not working very well. We want to recover information from it. So there's a list of software that can do the erasing. Some of that same software can erase, can also sometimes do the recovery for you. But somebody saying deleting is enough. Why do you need a total eraser? When you delete something from your machine, it is gone, but there are packets of data slots on the hard disk itself that still keeps the data on it. So even though you have deleted, it's kind of in a format that you cannot read. So it's somewhere still on the machine until they totally wipe the thing, or you keep on the hard disk gets full. It will not be overwritten. So some extent, when people recover a hard disk, you start seeing that some old files come and some new files come. The new files have been able to write over some of the old files, but some of the old files are still existing. But it's in a format that is not readable to you, but maybe readable to the right software. So the software helps you to recover and then try sometimes pictures and some of the Word documents to structure them in an appropriate way. Another way people have been protecting themselves is to upload everything to the cloud. So if you have got a cloud service like iCloud and other cloud service, they'll try to back up more important portions of their computer. For example, I'm working with Dropbox a lot. So most of the things I do are already in Dropbox. And I have about 2 TB there. So everything I'm doing on the computer I'm sitting on it, I can go to another computer and start it. Maybe but I'll have to install some few things. But the actual data itself, the actual content itself is already in the cloud. Okay. So data is backed up or duplicated on multiple systems or locations. So ensure that if one fails, one can be retrieved from another system. Now, this is a very good method, the replication on other systems. Let me just give an example. And it also happens with having a failover system, a system that's a backup. When the other one breaks out, then that one comes into motion. When I was doing my PhD, I was in the UK. I used to develop websites for companies, and I was approached by CPP UK and Ireland branch, the CPP that we know, the UK and Ireland branch, that they want me to design a website for them. When I designed the website, I realized that the website was vulnerable sometimes to attacks, whether it was coming from political machinery or different people. So what I then did is that I tried to create sister multiple versions of the website so that in case the website goes down by some hacking, I can bring up another one within just hours. And that can enhance business continuity with less intrusions and with less disturbance of the service that they are providing as their website being available. So that's what I thought I tried to do to enhance the continuity of their business. So business continuity is very, very important, especially in an era where anybody can sitting somewhere is trying to hack into your own machine. What measures have you put in place so that in case there's a problem, we can fall on the backup? We can also start a new system that is the failover system that can come into motion and provide the services that we are looking for so that our machine cannot be totally off. Continuous monitoring, constant surveillance of systems to detect failures or potential risk, which may enable immediate response. Okay. Then that one, you know that about it. I will always constantly mentioning, making sure that when something happens, we know we are notified. When something happens, you are notified. Okay. Lastly, the bankers can tell you about digital recovery plan. Every good institution which thrives on data should have the business continuity agenda or framework in which the recovery plan will be put in. So in case there's a breach, what is our next steps for immediate response and then to bring back the business to its right form? How can we recover from that breach? What are the measures for recovering? What process should we follow so that the data breach loss is minimized and it is stopped? And then we can then restore systems and bring them to provide the service that we are looking for. So those ones are well developed plans by companies, and they use it to put them in motion anytime they have a kind of an attack or there's a breach or there's a need for them to come back. Okay. So in the real world sense, we have got cloud storage services like Google Dropbox, and then the Amazon Web Service, which are very, very good in backing up people's data for using it for backups, using it for storage services. Then these things really happen whenever there is an event that drives a lot of people to websites. Like in the University of Ghana, it's the time that they are booking for Hall of Residence. It can have so much info. People trying to get into the website, and it makes the website fail. But to ensure data resiliency, we advise to back up our systems even in the cloud so that we can handle the massive traffic and avoid site crashes and continue service. Some of them to abort certain type of not just the speed but the bandwidth to be able to absorb the fact that thousands of people are requesting for the same information at the same time. Okay. So banks use data resilience strategies to ensure that customer data is always available. Even if there's a technical glitch in one server or at the data center, the backend systems ensure that customer transactions are not hindered. So sometimes we apologize and tend to give them 24 hours. We are putting it into motion. Okay. So Angela, what is your question? I've come to my end for today.
Okay, Doc, so my question had to do with the usage of public Wi-Fi's. So I wanted to know if I should tap into a public Wi-Fi and I leave. Does that mean that like there's a trail or my history is still there where um those having access can easily have access to my data, can hack and have access to my data, or once I leave with everything.
Okay, that's a good question.
I leave traces of, yeah.
You may have left traces on the network. So the person on the right software can be able, if the person was listening and copying, listening to all the information, recording it, then you can have access to it. But when you leave with your data. But the question is that if you transacted there and somebody was listening, captured some of the information, and took record of it, then that's a different story.
No, like it's not live. Like I left the network and someone was already there, but he wasn't listening. But maybe later he's trying to hack into, I don't know, like via my history or the trail, or maybe I left traces. I don't know if that's possible. Or once I leave, I've left my everything.
Okay, I'm not very
I don't
sure.
know if you
I understand your question. But what happens is that when you leave and you switch on your computer, you are disconnected from the network. So that means that the person who was using the network to enter, it didn't enter anymore. But if whilst you are connected, the person was able to steal your username and your password, and wherever you go, he has your username and password and can also log in.
Okay.
Yes. For example, me when I'm even at home and I'm getting out from my computer to go and rest, and I don't want to switch on my computer because I'm doing something. I put it in airplane mode so that the Wi-Fi cannot connect, so that the machine just sitting there as a local machine. It's not connected to anything. Even though I've got all about 3 different internet networks, I will not connect to any of them. I will put in my machine into this. Put into sleep mode will not do that. I want the Wi-Fi to be disconnected, not connected to any internet access. Okay. So thank you very much. Any other question? Okay. Thank you very, very, very much. No question. Then, so thank you. I don't have any question too for you. Okay, next week, hopefully, maybe we'll get a guest who come and talk to us about artificial intelligence, data, and crime, and how cyber criminals in Africa are using these three things to be able to steal from people.
Okay, Prof.
Okay, then. But thank you very much. All
Prof,
this.
before
Yes.
you go, hello, Prof. Yeah, I want to know, when are we seeing you in person?
Hey. I don't know. Maybe you should write if you write exams in person, then you see me. But yeah, I see you people when you come for your main program. But you say you want to see me in person. When you see me, what will you do? You have seen my picture and my video. You just be happy. I know all of you. That's what. Oh, so no, Annie. I showed my
Your
picture.
Netflix password.
I should share my latest password. Hey, that one is not possible. But your Netflix is not expensive. It's now $10, 100 cedis. So why are you asking for Netflix password?
Someone
And
asked in the chat session.
I don't mind the person. Is he a male or a female?
Mail.
A male. He's been buying fuel. He can stop, can take 100 cedis off his fuel and use it to buy Netflix. Anyway, thank you very, very much.
Thank you too, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.